Welcome to Empowered to Grow, the podcast. I am your host, Hanan El-Basha, the business doctor. Following our conversations with empowered women who woke up one day and consciously claimed, I am more than enough, I am worthy, I am empowered to grow. And along their empowering journey towards realizing their own potential and their quest for growth, they became a beacon of hope and guidance for others. May you also find your inner power to grow. Hey everyone. So come back to you with another amazing lady, a very, very dear friend of mine. We've known each other for, I'm not going to count because it's the quality, not the quantity of years that we've had. Omnia Samy, she's a certified International Coaching Federation coach. She's certified grief recovery specialist who spent 20 plus years helping hundreds of women or people generally, but women especially, achieve personal and professional success. She's also completed studies in positive intelligence and personality profiling. She is the founder of Aspirations Coaching, and a company that, she made it her mission to help women heal from trauma, overcome grief, face their fears, and the whole 9 yards. Omnia is also, on the other hand, a business consultant. So she's an executive coach and leadership mentor. She literally started also her own businesses, a good number of them, co-founded and founded her own businesses, and she's doing an amazing job in that sense. She also, but not only, is included in she's involved in talent management, diverse employee engagement, and she likes to do the whole 9 yards. So, Omnia, thank you.
Thank you for
accepting
having
the invitation.
Oh, that's my pleasure. It's an honor to be on your podcast, and I'm so happy that you started your podcast. So congratulations.
I think we've been talking about it for a couple of years at least now. So
yes.
It's finally come to life.
It just suits you. It was meant to be. So.
Thank you, Hud. Well, I'm going to treat you like a guest today, so as much as possible. I'll try.
Okay.
I'll try to be objective. Okay, so when I first reached out to you and I said, I'm going to create a podcast, I'm going to launch a podcast that is called Empowered to Grow. What is it that came or keeps coming to your mind when you think of that term, Empowered to Grow?
Empowered to Grow, the main thing that comes to my mind actually is helping people. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking why, usually you think Empowered to Grow, you think of yourself, how you can grow, how you empower yourself. But I think over the years, I found that I learn and I grow when I'm coaching or helping or supporting others. Go through whatever, even when I was mentoring, even if when it was your business mentoring, it adds a lot to your experience, to your life, to your growth, and it enroots in you certain concepts. It becomes more of like deeper understanding and deeper practice of things that you might say or read or reach as you helping others. So empowered to grow. Every time I hear it, I just comes to me, helping. And maybe because it's you too, because that's what you do. So maybe that's why.
You have the neuro association now, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
A compliment, but I think that is true. I mean, from my perspective as well, it is every time I feel like I'm coaching or mentoring someone, I'm also shedding a light on my insecurities, if there are any. I'm also uncovering and unveiling things about me, and I want to help people grow through that so I can grow alongside them. And I think that's a beautiful gift that we didn't expect out of coaching or mentoring.
Yes. Yes, it is definitely.
You empowered yourself in your own unique way. I know on a health perspective, on a mindset perspective, on a business perspective. I'd love for you to share part of your story, whatever you want to share, which aspect or all of them if you'd like.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you want.
Well, that's going to be a long answer. Okay, my story. Well, I've always thought of myself for the longest time as just normal person, very normal life. I didn't think I had like adventures, and I think it was part of just leaving them, living things and not really thinking about what happened. And I think when I started really grounding myself, because I'm the type who is always on the go, not really enjoying the moment or thinking about the moment or the experience that I'm always thinking, okay, what's next, what I'm going to do next, what I need to do, who I need to take care of, and blah blah blah.
The checklist.
Exactly. And it's my to-do list that I have all the time with me. And when I started really grounding myself in thinking about my life, I realized that I've actually didn't really live a very typical life from many different aspects. So I, at a young age, I left my parents, like I left home, and I went to study in the US, and that was a very, very big step. Now I think, oh my God, how did I do that?
That was bold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm like, how did I get that courage? So I guess I had some courage to do things, but I did it unconsciously, maybe, and a lot of times. But I think the best part I want to focus on, because I think that's what formed a big part of who I am right now, is maybe in the middle of my career when I had some troubling experiences with people, with organizations, with like differences on how I handle things, or don't take things personally or professional versus personal. And it was kind of, I had a kind of a shock or a kind of a hit with reality, or facing things that I didn't think existed or didn't think it would happen to me. Maybe you hear things and you're like, oh yeah, it happens to people, but you don't think it happened. And I think I went through maybe minimum 6 months of shock, and a couple of years of getting over and realizing what happened, and going through who I am. And I think that's where it started, when I started to really grow in a different way, especially on a business level, like professional level, and on a personal level. Started to focus on who I am, what I want, and what do I need to, what I want in life, and where I need to focus, because there's so many distractions, there's so many bad and not pleasant things that can happen to you. And should I learn, take what's good in it and go with it, or should I feel sorry for myself and be like shocked why this happened to me and all of that. So I think that's when I started really my journey of trying to find my way in not in a very in a different steps or different path. It was a different path, and that's when I started having that courage again to start businesses or try something that might sound crazy to others, but I'm like, okay, well, if I can't find what I want or how I want to do things in organizations, why don't I create it?
Exactly.
And as I went through that, then comes different stresses and different challenges, and that's when I started realizing it, how these things are affecting my health and what I need to do to take care of myself. And I started to take stops. Maybe it was the last 5 years, where I really started getting into who, taking care of, making time for myself, self-care, and that evolved with me.
Sure.
as I grow, I guess. And I was more aware of who I am and what I want in life and what is my purpose. And it was, I think, finding my purpose, I don't know, was also something that made a big difference. And that's when I did the coaching and focused on my coaching, because I felt that was a very, I mean, even though everything I did, I liked and enjoyed, but that was different. That was more very in line with my purpose. With
that was
who I
aligned
am,
with
with
your
what
calling in a way.
Exactly. And it gave me a lot of peace and a lot of energy, different type of
Clarity as well.
energy.
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember you going through it, and I remember you, like our conversations then, it was like, I have clarity now, and I know how. Now I have a structure of how I can support those around me and those that I love, and the people I love, but also more importantly, people I don't know, and I can still come from a place where it's structured and it's useful, it's beneficial for them and for me.
Exactly. So that's in a nutshell. I was like, I went through that, finding myself, and it was I think it was definitely more than 5 years, but in the last 5 years we've been very focused on I've been very focused on that. I've explored things that I dismissed before because it's like, oh, that's silly, I don't need that, I'm fine, those I'm doing just fine.
Yes, I know those.
So it was definitely a self-discovery journey that was useful.
But also part of the fascinating part about your story, which I know, it is how you empowered yourself to grow health-wise. And I remember that, you one day woke up and said, I'm rejecting all my diagnosis. I don't want to take those pills anymore. And I'm going to start taking care of my health. And you explored like your health from a holistic view. And then you went into functional medicine, and, you kept exploring until you found something you were comfortable with. And your empowerment, because this personally impacted me, because your empowerment in that sense gave me the sense that I could take control of my health. And that led me to the health coaching certificate. So, that's how we're interconnected on so many levels, but, just as humans, but also as friends, because that is how, as you said, empowered to grow means that you're empowering others as well. And tell us a bit about your health journey.
So it started actually, as you said, I used to have a box of pills for everything, because I always had a migraine, I always had a stomach something, and I always didn't feel good about my health.
Some form of symptoms were happening.
Exactly. I looked fine, but in order for me to look fine, I had a lot of pills. Exactly.
Medicated.
So I was getting tired of that. And also, I just didn't find a diagnosis. I mean, the labs and the doctors and everything was fine. I mean, you have nothing. CT scans, this and that. There's no
stress.
There's no it just made you stress, and that's it. And so I found I was working. First, I started for my daughter to help her with some pains and stuff like that. I was doing the holistic doctor for my back mainly. And I started talking to her and exploring things. And then I started, gluten. So that's hard, hard for my daughter to give up gluten and sugar. But in order for me to do that, I had to do it with her. And I noticed that, oh my God, my migraines are much less. And I lived with migraines since high school.
Yeah.
And that's a long time.
Yeah, same here.
Pain. So I started to try more things and read and understand why this. I mean, I didn't get a degree like you.
I went down the degree lane, you went down the self-education lane.
Yeah, so I started reading,
but we still
and
have
going,
that much knowledge between us, which is amazing because we keep sharing.
Exactly. Dr. Mike Hyman, I started following him. I started reading more and understanding why this, why that. I got into the intolerances, and I started realizing, and I kind of knew that this, makes me, but some of the things were not necessarily giving me a stomach ache, but they were doing other things. They were increasing my stress. They were causing the migraines. They were causing, and I started having not very clear mind. My mind hasn't been as sharp, foggy. Yeah, exactly, foggy brain. And got into more of that, and then understood that not all the supplements are as pure as they are, things like that. And then went to functional doctor here, like functional medicine, and started actually doing the labs and the tests they do. Yeah. And they explain a lot. I mean, and that's something I appreciate, because I like to understand if I'm taking a pill, whether it's a medication or a vitamin, why and how it's going to help my body, and if it's something because of my genetics, or it's because it's a supplement, or because of my eating, or so I really got my functional medicine answered that question for me, because it was more of, there is understanding, and there is and if they don't know, they tell you, we don't know, let's try this and let's try that. And I appreciate. And also when you say, I still don't feel comfortable, I have discomfort, even if the labs don't support what you're saying, they're going to work with you to
explore it.
Exactly. And the thing that kind of used to bother me the most is like, you're fine, you're just fine, it's in your head. Well, I'm not crazy, I know that. I know that much. But so yeah, this been so I've been doing so many different health routines, and I was just talking to you before the episode about my adrenal routine that I just finished, because I went through some stress in the past couple of months with my dad being sick and stuff, and I started feeling that, I'm edgy, I'm easily triggered and things like that. So I did the adrenal protocol for a month, which does not food, but also going back to my meditations, getting myself enough time of sleep, rest,
huge factor.
Listening to your body. This is one of the biggest learnings I think I had in the past few years, is listen to your body.
And I think that's a beautiful thing, that, the message I got from you, when now through my learning and my personal experience as well, it was always trying to pass on the message, is that listen to your body. Our bodies are telling us everything. It's just that we're not listening. We're shutting them off because we need to go. But if you actually just take a pause and breathe and realize, hang on a second, this is not serving me, whether that is a practice you are doing all the time, or something you're eating or drinking, whatever it is, they could be very, very small acts, but they impact your life and your body in such a big way. I know, because, like, for example, the migraine, you were talking about migraine, for me it was the same thing. It was like, I just think migraine and immediately I have a migraine. Nothing has to trigger it anymore. Just the thought of it. It's just, I can call it in and that's it. But so I'm so happy you shared that, because I really wanted people to, just at the end of the day, the message that I would love for them to take out of that is that you can be empowered to grow your mind, to grow your body, and to your health, not your body, but your health and your wellness. And you could be empowered to explore the different paths in your life, to find that invigorates you, to find one that aligns with you, and to find one that ultimately could be your purpose, despite of the fact that your purpose could evolve with you as you grow. So it's not like set in stone.
Yes, of course.
And your story for me means a lot of that. So
And a lot of people tell me, oh, how can you stop this or you stop that? I don't have the willpower. And I'm just a normal person like everyone else. And I think it all goes to when you're starting feeling better, you're like,
Yeah.
I want that. I don't want to go back to how
Exactly.
it was.
Exactly.
And it's all in the mindset and how you work it out. And it's good. As I said, it was a journey. I mean, it was steps. It's not like overnight.
No.
I was able to just give up everything I loved and all, the dairy, the sugar, this and that. No, of course it was. I did it in gradual, and I had my dips and my ups, and until I was able to find the steady where I can manage and be content.
And that's the other thing. We don't reach a health condition overnight. So we're not expected to fix it overnight. I mean, a health condition, for it to be diagnosed as a health condition, or for us to actually feel form of symptoms that actually start impacting us negatively, it takes years. I mean, some things take months, but literally most of the time it takes years. And that's, you're not expected, and don't expect of yourself. And that's why I keep telling people, manage your expectations. And when I had that mindset switch about, I want to lose weight or I want to shed fat, layers of fat from around my body. Well, they didn't crawl overnight. And now I have to give myself enough time for my body to kind of realign and re-understand that this is our new normal. This is our new lifestyle. This is how we want things to be done. And thus accordingly, for it to feel safe enough to heal, to shed the layers of fat, to recalibrate internally and externally. And, like with everything, with skin routines, with every routine we do, literally, it's a routine because it's a habit and our bodies need to respond in that sense.
Exactly. And also be forgiving for yourself, because even when you get into the routine, you're going to have weak moments, you're going to have setbacks. Yes. And you just need to be able to forgive like say, okay, that's what I needed, that, and it's okay. And I'll just continue where I was. That doesn't mean that I'm a failure or that, I can't continue or this is not working for me or I can't do it. No, it's just setback. And it happens to me every once in a while. And when I said, with my dad's sickness, I got to a level, I was overwhelmed and I was worried to the point that, it affected my health and it affected, some of my habits. And then, but I was able to, once I kind of like, you're
consciously
I was like,
realize,
I was like, okay, I'm noticing this and this and that for the past couple of weeks. So this is, I'm going back to my old trends. So let's have a moment and sit, like have a discussion with me and let's see what we're going to do about it.
Exactly. Let me fix this.
Exactly.
So continuing from where you stand now, what advice would you impart on your 20-year-old self? Or your daughter who's approaching 20 years old.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I wish I can. I wish you can
not
listen.
That easy. Let's stay with yourself, because maybe you would have listened.
I think my biggest thing would be enjoy the moment. Because I think I have lost so many good moments in my life and so many experiences that I just were happening and I didn't really ground myself. I'm a restless person. I multitask and I do too many things and I just don't enjoy. And I think I realized this with my first son, that I was so busy and did not enjoy his childhood, his first couple of years, and I kind of did better with my daughter. But in general, I think that would be my first thing to just to think of. Enjoy the moment. Don't waste your energy thinking about the past or wondering about the future. Live live the moment and plan for the future and learn from the past.
I love that. And from that, moving forward, as in now you're in a time capsule And
Okay.
coming back from the future, your 90-year-old self now wants to thank you. What would she thank you for?
Thank me. Okay. So I did something right.
You did. Definitely
Yay.
did.
um, for, I think for realizing who I am and for taking a break to learn about me and start fresh, because I think that's what I did 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I continue on this path,
you will.
yeah, I'll be. I think I'll be very, a 90-year-old. If I reach that age, will be very proud of who I am, because I am trying to ground myself and all the time and enjoy the moment and enjoy every day with my parents, every day with my kids, every day with my friends, with everyone that is in my life. Because if I learn something, is don't take anything for granted. Everything's changed.
That's true. So this kind of sums it up for us. You're standing on a stage. You're talking to tens of thousands of women, and your speech was about being empowered to grow. What would be that message, that last statement you leave them with? The gist of it.
You and your questions.
Yeah, my question. I've learned. I think that's why it took a couple of years. I was learning and putting down my questions.
I would actually say 2 sentences, if you allow me. The first one is learn from the past, plan for the future, and enjoy the moment. And the other one would be, if you fear climbing mountains, you will always live your life in a pit.
I love that. You'll always be in the sunless valley or somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I think that's where when you give up the fear, both of that, I think that's for both of us. That's when we started actually being who we really are and flourishing.
Yeah. But I think also that's the message is also that we as women especially don't realize that we have climbed mountains. You might think now that you're in a valley, but you actually climbed a mountain to reach this valley. And there are more mountains, but these mountains are not like, it's not a journey of pain and suffering. It's a journey of growth. Because as you climb, your view gets better. And as you climb, you feel better and you get stronger. So these are the things that we fail to recognize how strong we are. We fail sometimes to see the adversity we had actually overcome to reach this point. We get rooted in this point. And this is where we need to rise above to see how far we've come. And more importantly, how far we can still go.
We can, exactly. And you just reminded me of something I read. I can't remember where. It said, it's not rejection, it's redirection.
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of times you feel that what happened to you is like, oh my God, that's rejection. It's a failure. It's this. No, it's a way. Sometimes it's a lesson and it's a redirection to where you need to be going.
Exactly. So. That's the point. Well, that was refreshing and invigorating to have this discussion. Where can our listeners find you in virtual space?
Okay, so as you said, Aspirations by Omnia is my, I have Instagram, it's Aspirations by Omnia. I have also Facebook, but it's by Omnia only. And I have a website, byomnia.com. And
I'm going to include the links in the notes of the episode anyway, but it's nice for you to share it.
Yeah, and anyone can email me at aspirations@byomnia.com.
you want to talk about the other business, your side passion?
My side passion. Well, there's always something with me with that. Let's keep it at aspirations for now.
Okay, aspirations. When you're ready, we'll talk about your side passion, maybe in our next episode.
All right.
Well, it was lovely, my friend. Thank you for sharing your energy. Thank you for sharing your pearls of wisdom with us. I'm sure a lot of people are going to get a lot of value out of it.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me, and congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And until next time, stay tuned for more amazing women to come. Thank you for listening to the Empowered to Grow podcast. For further engagement with a tribe of empowered women, join my Facebook group, Empowered to Grow, or visit my website, www.hananulbasha.com. I'll catch you on the next episode. And until then, know that empowered you empowers others. Love, abundance, and prosperity to you all.